The Jedi have always been an enigmatic, mysterious, admired or feared concept throughout the galaxy. The roots of the Jedi Order stem from a group of scientists and scholars from several star systems who gathered on an ancient planet called Tython to study the mysteries of the universe. This group was known as the Jedi. This order lasted thousands of years until different events, such as an invasion of the Rakata, excessive use of the dark side, and a civil war, marked the decline of the Order and its millennial ideology, giving birth to the Jedi Order, led by Masters Rajvari, Calabrin, Garon Jart, and Tersanden. Known from the organized band of wizards in the ancient times to highly disciplined warriors, the Jedi obeyed the precepts of harmony, knowledge, serenity, and peace. They were a group of beings capable of manipulating the Force, who alone shared that ability, but it was through the Jedi Order that they truly came together as one in order to use their powers in the service of others. At the heart of the Jedi Order is the search for balance in the Force. They believe that the Force has a duality, light and darkness, and the Jedi seek to maintain a balance between both forces. Through meditation and practice, the Jedi discovered that avoiding the emotions of hate, anger, and desire could make them more powerful on the light side of the Force. The ancient Jedi didn't forbid intimate relationship or marriage among the Order, but it was understood that the strong emotions associated with such relationships could easily affect the decisions and behavior of most Jedi. Most led a monastic life. Some legends claim that the first Jedi Knights traveled to the planet Kaamas to learn proper moral judgment in an attempt to understand how to use their powers ethically. The Jedi Code is a fundamental pillar of Jedi philosophy and way of life. It's a series of principles and teachings that guide these noble warriors in their search for balance and wisdom through the Force. Its importance lies in the fact that it's not just a set of rules, but a moral and spiritual guide that defines the very essence of what it means to be a Jedi. The following code is a version that was inspired by the Jedi Order code and simplified over the years. There is no emotion, there is peace. This principle guides all contemplations and engagements with fellow beings, and also the Jedi aspiration to act prudently and to perceive the conduct of others through the perspective of the unifying Force. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. Ignorance can be a dangerous path that leads to the dark side, due to its potential to foster fear and vulnerability. Ignorance often results in a lack of understanding, which can fuel negative emotions and actions. Those who don't understand this basic precept are quick to fear, and fear is the path to the dark side. There is no passion, there is serenity. Jedi aim to transcend their personal desires and emotions in favor of a greater sense of harmony with the Force, and by detaching themselves from stronger emotional attachments, they can better perceive and understand the Force without the distraction of personal motivations. This detachment allows them to make more rational and balanced decisions. There is no chaos, there is harmony. Individuals who are unable to perceive the interconnectedness of all living beings often perceive existence as a random sequence devoid of meaning. The Jedi must possess the ability to understand the intricate design and reason behind the vast expanse of multiple galaxies. There is no death, there is the Force. Every entity experiences mortality, yet the Force remains eternal. Similar to military organizations and governmental structures, the Jedi Order implements a hierarchy that facilitates effective command and communication. While all members share an equal connection to the Force, the more experienced individuals possess a level of expertise that commands respect from those who have not yet attained such a status. Without rejecting its roots, the Jedi Order is based on the structure that the Jedi Order had at the time, made up of the Jedi Initiate, Jedi Padawan, Jedi Journeyr, Jedi Ranger, Jedi Master, and Jedi Temple Master. The youngest members of the Order. They achieve their rank when they are old enough for individual instruction, which for humanoids can be as young as age 2. The dress of the Jedi Initiate is essentially that of a Jedi Padawan, Knight or Master. Tan or grey tunic, boots, belt, everything but the robe. For the population of the galaxy, the very peculiar tunics of the Jedi are a particular symbol. Many people will come looking for wisdom, others for help against their enemies, and others will seek violence against the Jedi. A Jedi Initiate must respect that symbol, since the uniform defines all of them. Each of them shall wear their clean uniform with pride. At night, leave it folded at the foot of the mat. Even keep the boots clean. The Initiate must do it himself and not leave it to the droids. Also, the youngling quarters should be kept organized and tidy. Once as Jedi Initiates, each one must understand the 3 fundamental pillars that reinforce the ideology of the Jedi Order and the Code. The Force emerged as an energy field shaped by the existence of every living being. Through the living Force, the Jedi established a bond with the flora and fauna of the environment. The Jedi are blessed with the gift of swimming in the Force in every moment, breathing it, tasting it, riding its currents to their unique destinies. For the Jedi, the universe never appears devoid of meaning or guidance. The Force imparts purpose and stands as the ultimate pinnacle. The Force expresses itself in 2 aspects. The living Force is raw and close at hand. It's the life energy tingling around, and when being die, it sends it through the living Force. All the tangible Force abilities such as running, jumping, heightened senses, moving objects are techniques by which the Jedi become agents of the living Force. And in the other hand, the unifying Force is a vast cosmic power. The Jedi Initiates cannot perceive it yet, but with experience, they will be able to. The unifying Force binds the stars and planets in space and time. It's the voice that whispers the destiny of everyone, and make no mistake, the Force does have a will. To commune with the unifying Force is to temporarily leave the body behind, allowing to walk in the past or see the future. As previously stated, with the first aspect of the Force, there are abilities that are based on the Force, and Jedi Initiates will learn to hone them. There are 3 major divisions: Control, Sense, and Alter. The first is the one that it's up to the Initiates to learn. The other 2 will be seen years later in their Jedi path. Control pertains to mastery over one's own physical form and constitutes a pivotal aspect of Initiate's evolution. Maintaining control is vital because if it's not possible to accomplish this task, the Initiate will never be able to dominate the Force and the environment that surrounds it. Tutaminis, or energy absorption, involves the utilization of the positive energy of the Force to channel or disperse potentially harmful radiation. This skill ranges from basic acts like shielding the skin from excessive sunlight to more intricate feats like redirecting a blaster bolt with a mere hand gesture. Curato Salva. A focus on self-healing, the Curato Salva was developed as a way to stay fit and maintain endurance, extend their lifespans by staving off decay, and to flush out any poisons or diseases within their bloodstreams. The Jedi hibernation trance represents the utmost level of Curato Salva, serving as a final measure to maintain vital signs until healers are able to provide intervention. This type of hibernation is the same seen in the followers of Padawan. Altu Sopor was the traditional term for the ability to increase a user's focus on the Force. When it's developed, can allow a practitioner to merge into the Force so that they will become invisible to others, even to those with the most acute senses. The pillar of knowledge is the most important of the 3. Ignorance is shameful only if you choose not to correct. With the help of archives and study, any question can be answered. Knowledge is what nurtures and guides the understanding of the Force, the pillar on which the Jedi philosophy is built. As the Jedi deepen their knowledge of the Force, they become better able to understand its connection to everything. The 4 branches that the Jedi initiate will have to study will be the history and philosophy of the Jedi Order, the physical sciences, the geography and political structure of the galaxy, and the nature and diversity of the living things. The 3rd pillar is the last one in the learning of the initiates. No one can reach this level without having learned the previous 2 pillars, without having demonstrated the connection to the Force and the willingness to study and learn. It's impossible to wield a lightsaber without first mastering the action of the physical self. So, this pillar is called self-discipline. Meditation is the key to aligning the mind and body with the spirit and will of the Force. Initiates must learn to meditate whenever they have a moment to themselves. The Force will rejuvenate the body and sharpen the mind, even in brief moments. The empty meditations helps to purge negative emotions and allows the Jedi to move away from attachment. The moving meditation reduces the distraction and increases concentration on a task. The rising meditation expands the connection with the Force to the point of even levitating and listening to the visions and prophecies of the unifying Force. The lightsaber is the weapon of the Jedi, an elegant weapon for a more civilized age. Jedi initiates are armed with standardized training sabers. Each Jedi builds their own lightsaber only until they reach the Padawan stage. So, each initiate should become familiar with the components of their training weapon. A training saber consists of a hilt and an activation stud that, when pressed, extends the blade. The size of the hilt and the length of the blade are variable, based on the combatant's age and size. Inside the hilt is crystal, lens, and emitter matrix to focus the blade, and a power cell to energize it. Additionally, Jedi initiates will need to learn how to disassemble and assemble a lightsaber. While the energy blade of a practiced lightsaber lacks cutting capabilities, it remains a weapon that requires careful handling. Striking with a training saber can still shock nerve endings, scorch skin, and singe fur, despite its inability to slice through objects. A lightsaber's applications are diverse, as it serves as more than just a weapon. Its capabilities extend beyond combat, including the ability to generate a shield for intercepting and redirecting blaster fire. Additionally, it can carp through hatchways, vaporize liquids, and provide illumination in dimly lit corridors. A Jedi initiate must treat the lightsaber with respect and responsibility, since, in the future, it can save his life. There are 7 forms of lightsaber combat. The Jedi initiates in their training concentrate on only the Form 1, called Schii-Cho. It's the oldest of all forms and the first to evolve from the ancient discipline of sword fighting. This form focuses on the essential fundamentals of lightsaber handling, such as holding and moving the saber efficiently, and is very useful for Jedi fledglings, giving them a solid foundation to build more advanced skills. Schii-Cho is characterized by large and simple movements, without elaborate gestures or complicated techniques. During the classes, the Jedi initiate will learn a quick sequence of movements executed against an opponent. The combat will end until one concedes before his opponent with a signal to surrender, which will be Sola. When the Jedi initiates reach the end of the years of training, they will no longer be younglings, and all of they must pass from initiate into a new level of service. To reach this level, they must complete the initiate trials to prove that their training has been a success. This includes demonstrating knowledge and understanding of the Jedi Code, demonstrating self-discipline through meditation and lightsaber combat, and proving that the Force flows through the student. Although many Jedi initiates manage to pass the test, one last requirement is needed to graduate. It's necessary to forge a bond with a Jedi Master or Knight who can take the initiate as an apprentice. Some of them will discover that the Force doesn't want them to continue down the path. For those, they can follow their path as members of the Jedi Service Corps, being able to continue the principles and ideologies they swore to uphold. Some may not follow either path, as Padawans or as members of the Jedi Service Corps. Unfortunately, the Council may decide that the path of a Jedi is not for them. If that decision is made, then the Force is what will speak to the individual and they will not be destined to follow the Jedi path. During the Jedi Initiate stage, every Force sensitive has learned the theory, but worlds of experience remain a mystery for them. When the appropriate age is reached, which for most humanoids is standard 12 and 14, and after having passed the Initiate Trials, one can be selected by a Jedi Knight or Master to become their apprentice. The Council usually doesn't play a role in matching a Master and a Padawan. The Force serves as a guide, manifesting itself through this connection, and seldom requires external assistance. Yet, Jedi Seers have occasionally glimpsed futures where a specific pairing is essential. In such cases, the Force's intent, and thus the Council's intent, must be respected. The Council's decision is ultimate and binding. During the Padawan stage, the student will experience opportunities to delve into the Force and learn from his master. The life of an initiate is completely different from that of a Padawan. Before, the activities of the young people were planned and structured. Now, the Padawans are expected to keep pace with the Jedi who surpass them in all aspects. It's common for new Padawans to feel inadequate for the task at hand. However, these feelings will go away after a few months. Padawans must follow the teachings of their masters even when they seem to disagree with what was learned in the temple, as they are the only beacon of learning that Padawans must faithfully listen to. Some Padawans may be students of a master who doesn't share the same language, species, or even the same basic body shape, but these Padawans are the luckiest. Learning is just that, and the opportunities to understand life in all its forms only reinforce the core mission of the Jedi. The Padawan braid holds immense importance as a distinctive marker of new status. For species with hair or fur, the braid is placed behind either the left or right ear, while the remaining hair is meticulously kept short. This braid can also be adorned, adding a touch of individuality. This particular braid serves as a clear indication that a youngling has become a Jedi Padawan. However, it holds a temporary role, as it will be ceremonially removed once the Padawan advances to the rank of knighthood. Species that don't grow hair may instead wear a woven braid of canvas or cloth around the wrist, neck, ear, or horn. Other alternatives have emerged over the centuries. Itachi Padawans can wear a metal circlet over the tip of their cranial horn. Sluisai Padawans can bisect their left cheek with a facial tattoo. Swogs Padawans can implant a medallion into the flesh beneath their foreheads. For the Padawan, the uniform is another symbol of status. Made from durable, unassuming fabric reminiscent of the initiate's attire, the Padawan uniform is designed with practicality in mind. Its hooded robe is tailored to be well suited for journeys and exposure to various weather conditions. Alongside this, the Padawan ensemble features a utility belt equipped with pouches housing food capsules and other specialized tools essential for the missions. The figure of the Padawan is a reflection not only of the master who is under his tutelage, but also of the order. All Padawans are reminded to behave calmly, professionalism, to answer all questions, to be fair, and to stay far, far away from cantinas and spice dens. As mentioned before, even though a youngling can pass the initiate trials, if they can develop a relationship with the Jedi Master, they won't be able to be a Padawan. In the first instance, initiates can try again the following season, but eventually they may be informed that the opportunities have run out, so they can opt to be in the Jedi Service Corps, being an honorable alternative for any graduating initiate. The Jedi Service Corps is made of 4 divisions: the Agricultural Corps, the Medical Corps, the Educational Corps, and the Exploration Corps. Not all members of this service fail to become Padawan. Many Knights, Masters, and Padawans choose to work with the Corps due to their special talents. The Agricultural Corps within the Jedi Order is a unique division that speaks to the wide range of roles Jedi could take on beyond the traditional lightsaber combat and diplomacy. Though often overshadowed by the more prominent branches of the Order, the Agricultural Corps is of immense importance in the Jedi's commitment to maintaining harmony and balance in the galaxy. This division is comprised of members who possess a deep affinity for the natural world and a deep understanding of ecological systems. These Jedi are dedicated to nurturing and preserving various forms of life throughout the galaxy, from lush gardens to biodomes and even entire ecosystems of planets requiring rehabilitation. Their mission aligns perfectly with the Jedi philosophy of serving all living things and acting as guardians of the harmony of the Force. The Agri Corps facilitates plant growth, improves soil fertility, and ensures the well-being of sentient and non-sentient life forms alike. Their abilities assist in cultivation, pest control, and maintenance of planetary ecosystems, contributing to the general well-being of both local communities and the galactic population at large. The most important quality for an Agri Corps member to possess is patience. Plants take a long time to grow, and rot takes a long time to eradicate. If meditation was a favorite subject on an initiate, then he may find the Agri Corps a fitting service for his passion. Because healing and scholarship are already widely practiced by many Knights and Masters, there isn't quite as much need for specialists. The Med Corps use the Force to aid healing and encourage healthy cell growth. But because the Med Corps operates on intelligent beings, its members are also sent into war zones and disaster areas. The most important tool for this division is the Healing Crystal of Fire. They are one of the temple's most important mystical artifacts and are kept under constant guard. It's said that the crystals can bring patients back from the brink of death when all else has failed. The Educational Corps consists of scholars, teachers, and archivists. All Jedi are expected to be teachers to some degree, but the Educational Corps goes far beyond that. They spend most of their time cataloging and translating, and this task can't just be left to the droids, because uncovering the layers of information inside a holocron can only be done by a person with Force sensitivity. The Exploration Corps, or Explore Corps, is an archaeological and research branch originally founded to survey and chart the countless stars and planets in the galaxy. The Explore Corps consists of Jedi Seekers who use their skills in navigation and survival to achieve this goal. Made up of a small fleet of second-hand vessels, the Seekers of the Explore Corps set out to map the galaxy. The Explore Corps have a long history of uncovering ancient civilization and finding new ones. The Jedi embark on journeys to explore worlds, seeking to make contact with new civilization, learn about unique ecosystems, and engage in cross-cultural exchanges. They act as ambassadors, diplomats, and mediators, using their knowledge of the Force and their commitment to understanding the bridge the gap between different species and societies. The lightsaber, a constant reminder of a duty, the heart of the Jedi. The lightsaber is a unique object. It's the eternal emblem of the Jedi. As a link between the material and the immaterial, this weapon is more than just a combat instrument. In the hands of the Jedi, the ethics, discipline, and commitment to the protection of the galaxy are reflected. The act of wielding a lightsaber is one of the most important moments for Padawans. Wielding lightsaber is an act of loyalty to the organization. It's curious the contrast of the Jedi Order towards the personalization of the lightsaber freely and the marked regulations of personal appearance and clothing. This reflects the fundamental principles and priorities of the Order. Allowing Padawans to customize their lightsabers to some degree signifies recognition of a Jedi's unique connection to the Force, a delicate balance between individuality and unity. The lightsaber is an extension of a Jedi's identity, and its construction and customization reflect a deeply personal and spiritual process. While there are general guidelines to ensure safety and effectiveness, the Jedi Order understands that a Jedi's connection to their lightsaber is an integral part of their journey. Each Padawan must listen to the Force in order to choose the components of their lightsaber: the hand grip, the emitter matrix, the lens assembly, the power cell, and the focusing crystal. The crystal is the heart of the lightsaber. The process of a Padawan choosing the kyber crystal for himself is an act of deep meaning and connection to the Force. This crucial stage takes place on the frigid planet Hilum. On that planet, each Padawan ventures into the mysterious and icy crystalline caves, where, upon entering these caverns with an open heart and mind, they must be willing to listen for the call of the Force that will guide them to their kyber crystal. The choice of crystal is not a random act, but a connection between the individual and the Force itself. The Force guides the Padawan to the crystal that best complements his talents, personality, and values. Meditation can help the Padawan find the right crystal, and each one must memorize the following mantra. The crystal is the heart of the blade. The heart is the crystal of the Jedi. The Jedi is the crystal of the Force. The Force is the blade of the heart. All are intertwined. The crystal, the blade, the Jedi. We are one. The final step requires absolute concentration, and it's the reason behind the forced focus of isolation on Ilum. The pieces of the lightsaber must be fused together on a molecular level. This is done through precise application of the Force. Fail to align them properly, and the saber may explode upon activation. More painful than the loss of the hand will be the sting of the failure. The hilt is the outer part of the lightsaber that the Jedi holds. It can vary in design, size, and style based on the Jedi's personal preferences. Some grips are simple and elegant, while others can be more ornate. The choice of hilt often reflects the personality and character of the Jedi. The power cell is the lightsaber's power source. It provides the necessary energy to activate and maintain the beam of light. The power cell can be of various types and sizes, affecting the duration and intensity of the lightsaber in operation. Jedi often look for high quality and high efficiency power cells to ensure optimum performance. The light generated by the emitter matrix passes through an assembly of lenses that adjust and focus the energy beam. These lenses allow the lightsaber to project a precise and powerful beam. Lens quality and accuracy are critical to lightsaber performance in combat. This is the control that turns the lightsaber on and off. This can be a button switch, a slider, or a touch-sensitive sensor, depending on the design of the grip. The Padawans wield the standard lightsaber. However, over the years and depending on the fighting style, evaluating strengths and weaknesses, lightsaber variants can be built. The most notable feature is, of course, its curved hilt. This design innovation allows for a more ergonomic grip and facilitates a different fighting style. The curvature allows for fluid and elegant manipulation of the blade, and this grip provides a balanced weight for precise handling in duels from saber to saber. Jedi who prefer Form 2, also known as Makashi, often find the curved hilt a better option. The Shoto is characterized by having a shorter blade. This reduced length makes it more maneuverable in close quarters and allows for a more focused approach on defense. It's a giant-sized saber with a massive handle and a thick blade. Light clubs are often built by Jedi of unusually large size. The dual-phase lightsaber uses focusing controls to shift between twin crystals, allowing a normal-sized blade to suddenly become twice as long. This is useful only for surprise attacks. This lightsaber features a single hilt with two energy blades extending from opposite ends, creating a distinct and formidable weapon that requires a high level of skill to wield effectively. Reminiscent of the Sith pureblood weapon called the Sith War Sword, this lightsaber offers a variety of distinguishing advantages. These lightsaber's dual blades allow for a wider range of attack and defense options, making it effective against multiple opponents or in long-range combat maneuvers. Using one of these lightsabers takes years of practice, and few Jedi can instruct their students. The lightsaber pike features a long hilt compared to standard lightsabers, often resembling a staff. This extended length allows the wielder to keep their distance from opponents, while still utilizing the precision and lethality of a lightsaber blade. The light whip is the most exotic of all weapons that use the crystal energy technology. Instead of having a rigid blade, the light whip's energy tendril is flexible and can be wielded to entangle or cut. There are 7 forms of lightsaber combat. Form 1 was the focus of the training as an initiate, and Form 7 will be explained in due course within the Jedi Knight. Padawans must extend their combat skills by mastering one or more of the following forms. Makashi, Form 2, focuses on one-on-one combat with precision and grace. It's suitable for saber dueling and emphasizes skill and control. Makashi is characterized by precise, fast movements and well-balanced footwork. A Form 2 practitioner keeps both feet, one in front of the other, on a line and advances or retreats along this line, avoiding the leaps and acrobatics of Form 4. Soresu, Form 3, is the ultimate expression of defense. Soresu practitioners maintain a defensive stance and use circle of movements and precise blocks to protect themselves from enemy attacks. It's especially effective against multiple opponents and projectiles. By using this form, a Jedi can perceive the position of each enemy and the moves necessary to intercept every attack. When using Form 3 to fight another saber-wielding enemy, a Jedi should pull all moves close to the body and seldom make sweeps or lunges. This creates a strong defensive cocoon that makes it difficult for an enemy to land more than a glancing blow, but it means that a Form 3 master is unable to mount a counterattack. Ataru, Form 4, is characterized by its acrobatic and agile style. Ataru users take advantage of high-paced leaps, spins and moves to keep their opponents at a distance and confuse them. It's a demanding form in terms of energy and is best suited to those with great stamina and agility. Form 4 is best used against a single opponent. Against multiple foes, a Jedi will need to adopt at least a pretense of defense, at which point a shift to Form 6. Shien and Djem, Form 5. Its two aspects, Shien and Djem, can be equally mastered by a Form 5 practitioner, but most Jedi express a preference for one or the other, in the same way that the most of the Jedi have a dominant hand with which they prefer to hold the lightsaber. It's characterized by combining defensive moves with powerful counterattacks. Practitioners of this form absorb and redirect the energy of enemy attacks, allowing them to engage opponents who use intense offense. Form 5 is the most physically demanding of all combat styles. While Form 4 requires speed and agility, Form 5 requires strength. The emphasis of this technique remains in power, with violent blows or overhand blow to shatter armor that can penetrate any defense. Due to its reliance on dominating one's opponent, Form 5 has at times been considered an inappropriate discipline for Jedi, but those who can balance its intimidating sides with the compassionate application of the Force may succeed in besting even their battle masters. Niman, Form 6. Seeks to balance defense and offense. It combines elements of the previous forms and is suitable for various situations. Niman is versatile, but can lack the specialization of other forms. Form 6 is the most balanced of all styles. It's not as precise as Form 2, as defensive as Form 3, as kinetic as Form 4, nor as dominating as Form 5. But Form 6 draws from all styles to create a hybrid form marked for its practicality. Form 6 encourages integrating Force powers into combat. Two notable moves include Draw Closer, in which a Jedi telekinetically pulls an enemy within a range of a saber sweep, and Pushing Slash, in which a Jedi blasts an enemy away after inflicting a cut. Proper management of these tools allows a Form 6 master to take control of a group of enemies and eliminate them one by one. Niman is also the combat style associated with the use of twin blades. Previously, as an initiate, the Jedi work on control in his Force ability. Now, as Padawan, they will have to study the second division when it comes to training in the Force, Sense abilities. Padawans will spend more time developing Sense discipline and Force abilities. Sense is a natural progression from control. As a Padawan expands their awareness beyond themselves, they connect with their surroundings, gaining a profound cosmic understanding as the living Force unveils its presence. Life detection is the most basic of the Sense abilities. Through this ability, the Jedi can feel the presence of living things and track their positions at long range. Post-cognition is a rare Sense ability linked to the unifying Force. Padawans extend their perception into the flow of time, reading the past. Using psychometry, they manipulate objects to gain Force insights from previous handlers. This technique can also apply to specific places, especially for recent or violent events. So, the Jedi is drawing on the Force's memories of the event, not his own. Projective telepathy merges Sense's perception with Alter's direct influence, enabling Padawans to communicate their thoughts into another's mind. Even certain council members may struggle with this ability. The Jedi Trials represent a crucial rite of passage from Padawans on their path to becoming Jedi Knights. These trials are a series of tests designed to challenge the Padawan's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual abilities, evaluating their readiness to embrace the responsibilities and duties of a Jedi Knight. The Jedi Trials vary in nature and purpose, reflecting the special role of a Jedi as a guardian of peace and justice. The Jedi Trials serve not only as a means of measuring a Padawan's abilities, but also as a transformative journey that solidifies their connection to the Force and their commitment to the Jedi. The trials are not a mere checklist to be completed, but a dynamic and personalized experience for each Padawan. The trials typically consist of a combination of tasks such as combat challenges, tests of knowledge, acts of selflessness, and encounters that require ethical decision-making. The Jedi Trials consist of 5 challenges. This trial assesses a Padawan's combat abilities, challenging them to demonstrate their proficiency in lightsaber combat, defensive techniques, and strategic thinking. This trial tests the Padawan's ability to overcome fear and doubt. It often involves confronting situations that evoke fear or danger, forcing the Padawan to rely on their training and the Force to navigate through adversity. This trial delves into a Padawan's connection to the Force and their understanding of its deeper mysteries. It may involve meditation, Force visions, or communing with the Force in ways that align with their spiritual growth. This trial assesses a Padawan's resilience and ability to endure challenges that push their physical limits. It might involve enduring physical hardships, surviving extreme environments, or demonstrating physical prowess. Reveals a Jedi's aptitude for distinguishing reality from illusion through deceptive challenges. The culmination of this trial symbolizes a Padawan's transformation into a Jedi Knight. The current structure of the Jedi Trials is designed to produce knights in whom the Council can entrust its confidence. Thus, the Council may, at its discretion, promote any Jedi for any reason, or refuse such a promotion if its judgment warrants it. The knighting ceremony is a pivotal event signifying the transformation of a Padawan into a Jedi Knight. When the time comes, members of the High Council will be present, along with the Padawan's master and other Jedi who play an important role in the student's development. All Council members will ignite their lightsabers to illuminate the dark room. The Grand Master, or highest-ranking Jedi, will approach the student, ask him to kneel one last time as a Padawan, and the Master will offer a few words on his behalf. The Master will lower the lightsaber to the shoulder and raise it in one swift motion to cut through the Padawan braid. When the Jedi rises, we'll look at everyone like a Jedi Knight. As a Jedi Knight, they will roam the far reaches of the galaxy, extending aid to those in need. Having passed Padawan status and no longer on the direct tutelage of Master, they will have the freedom to choose their own approach when facing challenges that arise. The Jedi Knight operates with a greater level of independence, but is still bound by the directives of the Jedi Council. The Jedi Order has a large number of knights, and this diversity is reflected in the different paths that knights can follow in their career. Among the roles are peacekeeping, diplomacy, and research throughout the galaxy. This variability of skills and talents has given rise to 3 main branches: Jedi Guardians, Jedi Consulars, and Jedi Sentinels. Each one has a unique way of approaching missions. While their methods differ, all 3 parts are essential to the balance and success of the Jedi Order as a whole. The Jedi Guardians embody the principles of action and defense. They are often found at the forefront of conflicts, utilizing their mastery of combat techniques to protect the innocent and maintain peace. Guardians are martial artists, trained to wield their lightsabers with precision and skill, becoming formidable opponents in battle. Their connection to the Force enables them to enhance their physical abilities and anticipate their enemies' moves. Jedi Guardians value courage, determination, and self-sacrifice, making them the natural defenders of justice in time of crisis. They usually carry blue-bladed lightsabers, though doing so is more a sign of fraternity than a mandate. The Knight can use whatever blade they are comfortable with. The Guardians are warriors, so the lightsaber will see plenty of use. Among the ranks of the Jedi Guardians are the Jedi Peacekeepers, Temple Security, Jedi Starfighters. Jedi Consulars are known for their intellectual pursuits and diplomatic finesse. These Jedi prioritize acquisition and sharing of knowledge, using their deep connection to the Force to delve into the mysteries of the galaxy. Consulars are often tasked with seeking out peaceful resolution to conflicts, acting as mediators and negotiators. Their abilities extend beyond mere diplomacy. They are skilled healers, capable of mending both physical and spiritual wounds. Jedi Consulars are driven by their dedication to preserving wisdom, enlightenment, and the well-being of all life forms. The understanding of the Force gives to the Consulars a unique perspective in conflict resolution, one that ensures the galaxy's long-term stability. The Consulars carry the lightsaber, often with a green blade, to symbolize their commitment to peace. Among the ranks of the Jedi Consulars are the Jedi Seers, Jedi Healer, Jedi Researcher, Jedi Ambassador, Jedi Diplomat, and Jedi Lore Keeper. Jedi Sentinels represent the balance between action and contemplation. They combine the combat prowess of Guardians with the analytical skills of Consulars, making them adept problem solvers and investigators. Sentinels often find themselves in the midst of espionage, tracking down dark secrets and uncovering hidden truths. They possess a keen awareness of the Force, enabling them to navigate complex situations with subtlety and finesse. Because the Sentinels don't focus their full time on lightsaber exercises or Force meditation, they have acquired a host of skills that don't require Force sensitivity and can accomplish tasks that neither the Guardians nor the Consulars could handle on their own. Unlike the Consulars and Guardians, who travel various conflict zones, Jedi Sentinels frequently find themselves entrenched within a single sector or planetary system, often for extended periods spanning months or years. This inclination often elevated many Sentinels to the role of Jedi Watchmen, entrusted with safeguarding the well-being of a specific expanse of space. While Sentinels seldom require resorting to weaponry, much like their fellow Jedi, they wear a lightsaber. Characteristically, a Sentinel's lightsaber emanates a distinct yellow blade, setting them apart. The rank of Jedi Sentinels include investigators, spies, tech specialists, saboteurs, and other experts whose talents don't easily fit into the Order's traditions. Among the ranks are the Jedi Slicer or Computer Specialist, Jedi Tech Expert, Jedi Security Expert to disarm traps, the Jedi Shadows that they seek out and vanquish any traces of the dark side, requiring them to be both spies and saboteurs. Jedi Shadows prize the mission above all else, and often must make moral compromises that will be unpleasant for other members of the Order. Together, these three branches create a harmonious synergy within the Jedi Order. While they have distinct focuses, they share a common goal: to serve the greater good and maintain the balance between the light and dark sides of the Force. As Jedi Guardians protect, Consulars guide, and Sentinels uncover, the Order flourishes, ensuring that hope and justice endure throughout the galaxy. As a youngling, the Jedi focused on mastering control. During his Padawan years, the Jedi delved the sense, and now, as a knight, the journey through the Force advances into the domain of altar. These aptitudes, which harness the Force to tangibly affect the environment, represent some of the most challenging skills to hone. However, without a grasp of altar, it's akin to observing the world without the ability to interact with it. Allows Jedi to manipulate objects using the Force. These ranges from moving small items to larger structures or even deflecting blaster bolts. Also known as Jedi Mind Trick, this power enables Jedi to subtly influence the thoughts and perception of others, sometimes to the extent of making them believe false information, or follow suggestions by overriding impulses of an undisciplined brain. Empowers Jedi to control the natural world, creating barriers, altering weather conditions, or even reshaping terrain to their advantage. The Jedi touches the mind of every soldier in combat zone, friend and foe alike. Allies gain a boost in morale and fighting efficiency, while enemies become seized by confusion and fear. This technique offers a captivating way to merge with the Force. Through meditation, a Jedi reduces their Force presence to the size of an individual atom, granting unparalleled stealth and a molecular scale perception of the cosmos. In this state, enables Jedi to eliminate toxins, heal specific maladies in themselves and others, and reconstruct cells. It can have applications in healing, analysis, and even sabotage. A technique involving the creation of illusions or duplicates of the Jedi, often used to confuse enemies or provide distractions. It requires a strong connection to the Force and considerable skill to maintain. Juyo, Form 7, is a dangerous and complex form that seeks to take advantage of the opponent's aggression. Take the user to the temptation of the dark side and is only mastered by exceptionally strong-willed Jedi. Juyo is the most controversial lightsaber form. It's marked by its viciousness and unpredictability. In Form 7, a Jedi must engage in combat with controlled passion, a concept that challenges the Order's teachings. The execution of Juyo can appear to contradict the Jedi Code's core principle. There is no emotion, there is peace. However, masters of Form 7 don't surrender to their emotions recklessly. Instead, they channel their inner conflicts into a mental forge, using this passion to fuel their intense strikes. Expert practitioners keep their emotions contained within this forge, yet less skilled wielders of this form might allow their emotions to spill out during battle, corrupting their intentions and pulling them towards the abyss of dark side rage. After describing each of the 7 forms of combat, Jedi Knights have received the teachings of each of these forms. Now, the final task for Jedi will be to adapt their combat style to their physical strength and their philosophy of battle. Some Jedi might find benefits in adapting a hybrid combat style that incorporates elements of various forms. While not required, there may come a time in the journey as a Jedi Knight when the Jedi feels a compelling need to impart his wisdom to a younger Jedi. For a Jedi Knight, it's advisable to listen carefully for guidance from the Force, especially this role of mentor. Recruitment aside, this is one of the most impactful choices a Jedi can make to ensure the Order's vitality. Taking a Padawan as an apprentice becomes a rewarding step in the Jedi Knight's journey and, if carried out successfully, can lead to the esteemed rank of Jedi Master. The chosen Padawan should exhibit a certain likeness in temperament and perspective to the Jedi Knight, but not an excessive degree. Teaching becomes a two-way exchange. A new viewpoint and additional insights can significantly enhance the Jedi Knight's effectiveness on various missions. The Master must not overprotect the Padawan. The student is a Jedi, and they would know what that means. Every member of the Jedi Order is prepared to die in service. Any deviation from this principle is counterproductive and self-centered. There are Jedi who opt never to take on an apprentice. The role of Master involves an ongoing commitment that can extend over a decade or more, and not all Jedi possess the necessary patience. Some might possess the desire, but struggle to find a Padawan whose pace and perspective align with theirs. The pinnacle recognition within the Jedi Order is the rank of Jedi Master. While not obligatory, achieving this rank doesn't signify the journey's conclusion. Jedi Masters remain a rare few within the Jedi Order. Their distinction often lies in their role as mentor to younger Jedi. Guiding and training a Padawan into knighthood is a significant step toward reaching master rank. Many masters choose to take on successive Padawans, initiating a new apprentice once the previous one has passed the trials. As a Jedi Master, missions remain fundamentally consistent. The duty to aid those in need and expand the Order's influence across the galaxy continues. Nevertheless, a Master's abilities will have grown since their initial assignment. The title of Grand Master is bestowed upon the most exceptional of all Masters, a recognition affirmed by Order members and ratified by the unanimous decision of the Jedi. In the past, several Masters simultaneously held this title, effectively forming an exclusive guild.